Hey, good morning, YouTubers, Facebookers, party people all around the world. This is Clay with Clay's AC and Auto Repair and Clay Motion here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and this is the Clay Way. If you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing, but at the very least, turn down the volume on your computer and just let my video play on through when you find the section that you're looking for. Please remember to like, share, comment, send me them big old thumbs up if you don't mind. And remember, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. We've got a pretty common problem. We've got a 2005 Chevy Impala. It doesn't matter if you have a Malibu. If it has the ignition on the dash, you've probably experienced this situation with your automobile. You go to stick your key in, the key won't turn. Sometimes you can jiggle it, get it to turn. Well, that is going to eventually fail on you because this is a common problem that happens with all of these automobiles all across the country. There are a ton of videos that show you how to change this ignition lock, but none of them show you exactly what happens if you can't get that stinking key out. This creates a humongous problem, and we're going to show you how to rectify that problem the easiest, simplest way today. If you have a key that's stuck in the ignition and you can never get the thing to turn, you're going to need to do a couple things. You're going to want to go down to your local salvage yard and pick up the whole ignition switch with the key. You must have the key. That is very important. You cannot remove the ignition switch without having the key. Trust me, it is near impossible. We're going to show you in this video how to get that out if you can't get the lock cylinder to turn. And then the other thing that you're going to need is you're going to want to pick up a Dorman 924-719. This is a new lock cylinder and it has a pass lock technology in it, so you're able to reprogram the key at home with the new lock cylinder. I know by now you're pretty irritated with all of my yammering, but this is pretty important. Think about all the people out there that do not know these things, and you've probably already done a ton of research and found out all this stuff that you could have learned in this one video. So the first thing you're going to do with the lock cylinder that you've gotten at the salvage yard is you're going to turn this just about till it's ready to start, where it just starts to spring back. Then you're going to flip it over, and we want to push down on this tab right here. That allows this lock cylinder to come out and is the reason entirely that you will need this whole switch if you don't get it out, because when we took ours apart and we had to drill it out, we actually ended up ruining the unit itself. So we're going to push that tab, pull out the lock cylinder, and start the disassembly process on the automobile, removing it, and then we're going to install it with our Dorman part that we got here. I've used these a dozen times. They work great. So here's the situation. We're not going to be able to actually take off the dash that we need to take off, so we're going to end up running through it. I'm on the driver's side. I'm going to remove this 7mm, and Jeff is going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to need a 7mm, an extension, a 10mm flathead screwdriver, and preferably a screw gun. With that screw removed, Jeff is going to simply pry back, and we're not going to be able to pull it all the way off, but he's just simply pulling it away from the dash. We're going to be careful if it's cold outside because we don't want to crack the dash as we do this. Jeff's got the 7mm out of there, and he's going to pull that away, and then he's got two screws up in the top bezel right about where my fingers are at that he's going to have to pull out as well. Oh yeah, you could use a stubby Phillips screwdriver. Now the reason that we can't remove the whole trim bezel from the dash like we'd want to, with the lock cylinder in the lock position, we can't move the shifter, so we're not able to pull all the plastic out, but we can pull it away far enough to get the two 10mm screws that hold on the lock cylinder assembly. We're going to push the two plastic clips and then remove the light that's in there counterclockwise 1/4 turn. Looking from underneath, we're going to remove two Phillips head screws or 7mm to remove the kick panel trim guard and then pull it away. And once you remove them screws, the kick panel just comes right out. Then there's a metal guard that's right up underneath there. On ours, there were only 3 7mm bolts, but yours may have 4. Then there were 2 10mm bolts that we come up through the bottom and remove to remove the knee kick guard reinforcement structure that is underneath the steering column. Now we'll tilt the steering wheel up, pull the seat back. Working with the 10mm socket, we're going to use a 6-inch extension and go up from the bottom to remove 4 10mm bolts that are holding the knee bolster to the steering column.
To the underside of the steering column.
Jeff's got a pretty head of hair for a 40-year-old man. Actually, I think he's like 47 or 8 or something. I'm not sure.
45. Yeah, we can pop that off.
And we're gonna pop the little ring off there. Be real careful with that thing, guys. It actually likes to break quite a bit. Plastic back enough to reveal there's 2 screws up inside there we're gonna get at with the 10mm. We're gonna have 3 clips that we need to unplug. So pushing down on the clip, we're gonna work the shifting lever backwards, and it should come right out pretty easy. And then the white clip, if you could flip that around, Jeff, we're gonna push down on that tab right there and push the white clip up, and then we will have that removed. Now I'm gonna show you, once we pull the lock cylinder out, we'll be able to pull these wires out right here. Okay, so now we've got our key turned on. Like I said, Jeff's gonna push down on that and pull out the lock cylinder itself. Do it by yourself or you need some help?
There it goes.
Now with the lock cylinder unplugged, we're able to push down on the 2 tabs that hold the sensor in there. Now we're gonna install our Dorman 924-719 lock cylinder that we got from our local auto parts store. Okay, now before we put our new lock cylinder in, we're gonna go ahead and plug in our pass lock system switch. And then there's a little tab up on the top of there that plugs right into that wiring harness, and it snaps right in and locks right in like before. Now we're gonna plug in our back components, and before we put it up in the car and install it 100% correctly, we are going to go ahead and try to get it to recognize the key. Make sure that all the connectors are plugged in securely. Their little tabs pushed up. Okay, while the programming is taking place, you'll notice that the security is flashing. When the security is flashing, that means it's taking program. We need to let that sit for 11 minutes. Now our vehicle starts right up. No more issues, and it's running like a champ. So hopefully the video was helpful for you guys. Please consider subscribing, clicking the notifications, sharing my videos, etc., etc. If your key's stuck in your ignition, look for how I actually get this key out of this ignition if you don't want to buy the whole lock cylinder, including the electronic portion of it. So that's in a future video. God bless. Have a great day.